I'm not sure what it's gonna take for my people to truly realize that we're not welcome here. And it really doesn't matter whether you were born here or not. We're all looked at the same. Now, if you're Indian and you're watching this, you know as much as I do that we have a lot of similarities and we have a lot of disconnects. As descendants of a nation that was once colonized, we tend to whitewash a lot. And that is a truly strange phenomenon that happens. As someone that looks like, speaks like, and basically has the same story as Vivek Ramaswamy, I can let you know right now that this is nothing new. It doesn't matter what your accent sounds like, it doesn't matter what you believe in, it doesn't even matter how rich you are. The point that I'm trying to make is that no matter how hard we try, we're never going to be them. And this is nothing different than what other minority groups go through in this country. Whether you're black, whether you're Mexican, whether you're Asian, whether you're Indian, it doesn't matter. We'll always be seen as the lackey, and as soon as they don't need us anymore, we're gone. And the faster that we realize that, the better it'll be.
Have you ever wondered during the civil rights era or during segregation where black people were marching for their rights on the streets, the rights for their kids to go to school, the rights for equal housing, the rights to get into buses, to sit on the same seat as a fellow white person? Where were everybody else? Where were all the races? Where were the Indians, the Asians, the Hispanics? Why was it that it was only black against white? It seems to me that a lot of them started coming here after black people secured those civil rights. They came here to reap the reward that a lot of black Americans fought for. Now, these same groups are now being used in American society against black people. Take, for instance, affirmative actions. The purpose of affirmative actions was to right all the wrongs that have been done to black people, specifically the opportunities that they have been denied. But recently, if you've seen the people that are fighting the hardest to get rid of affirmative action and have gotten rid of affirmative action were the Asians, people that were used because they thought they were better than black people that fought for those civil rights that they are enjoying. They were used as battering ram against the black people. And you see that a lot in the Asian communities, specifically the Indians. Now, Indian society is a very hierarchical society. They practice, or they used to practice, something known as caste system. And if you practice such system, you can't easily wipe that away. So you could quote me that if you go to India right now, there's a lot of caste systems still being practiced. So that is inherently a racist society. So as a lot of Indians stream into the United States, they want to bring that mentality here. They assimilate better because they speak English in India, and India have good education system. So when they come to the United States, they easily assimilate. And most people from India that is coming to the United States are the highly educated and the upper class most of the time of the Indian society. So when they come here in the United States, they want to be white. They think they're white. And the best way to get the white card is to bring black people down, to target black people. I'm sure you've seen a lot of videos of even Indians that come to the United States discriminating against black people. But the worst part is they're never themselves. Well, most of them are never themselves because all they end up being is just a token brown person that is used against another group of people, usually black people. And after they have done that, they want to receive the reward from white people, but they're always reminded that you're not one of us. An example is Vivek Ramaswamy. I think we should all agree that Vivek is a remarkable young man. He's only 40 years old and he's already almost a billionaire, self-made billionaire. We can all question how he made his money, but he is a billionaire at 40 years old. He's very hardworking, very intelligent, and he took every opportunity that came his way. He took advantage of it, which is great. I think we can all agree also that if Vivek Ramaswamy was a white man, he would have been in a much higher position than he is right now. But when Vivek came into the scene, he came in as a presidential candidate of the Republican Party with the sole intent of elevating Trump. He was very smart. He came in there And all he did was to promote Trump, which is very strange because as a presidential candidate, you're supposed to elevate yourself. But instead, he reverenced Trump. And the reason why he did this was very tactical. He knew he wasn't going to win. But if he said the right thing and if he acted the right way, he would check all the boxes and eventually be a governor of Ohio, a very white and Christian state. And he did the same thing a normal token brown person should do to click the checkbox for white people to be comfortable with him, which is to go to Don Lemon's CNN show and try to lecture Don Lemon, who is a Black American, the experience of what it's like to be a Black American. Let's roll the tape.
Due respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to Black Americans, to say that Black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was
Black
part
people,
of what secured
hang on,
that
please.
freedom.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So hang on 1 second. So to say that Black people, say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They were not secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not. You are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because Black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to happen.
And you know how they got it?
They
got their Second Amendment rights, and they actually got the NRA played a big role in that. But today, down the
NRA did not play a big role in that.
They trained Black Americans how to use firearms.
That's a lie. That's not. The NRA did not play a big role in that.
This is just historical fact.
It's not historical fact.
The part that I find,
because you say it's historical fact.
The part that I find insulting is when you say today Black Americans don't have those rights after we have gone through civil rights revolution in this country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I have
the
a different
freedoms
point
that
of view.
Black and white that Black people don't have in this country, and that Black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without me regarding you as a Black man,
but
me regarding you as a fellow citizen. That's what I think we should see.
Whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
whatever ethnicity
about what it's like to be Black.
Whatever
in America.
ethnicity I am, I'll tell you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate.
The content of the ideas.
If you're going to do it, you should do it in an honest way and in a fair way. And what you're doing is not in an honest and fair way. Okay? But we appreciate you coming on.
With due respect, Don, I look forward to continuing that conversation.
Thank you. The conversation.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Papa.
We'll talk about China.
Yes, let's talk about China.
Next time you come back.
In fact, this is one of the reasons why Don Lemon actually got fired from CNN because of this interaction. Although Don Lemon is doing much better on his social media platforms, but that's beside the point. But he came in there and he wants to tell Black people, this is your experience, even though he haven't lived a Black experience. He has no idea what he was talking about. But he did that to gain the acceptance of Republicans and the white Republicans. And he thought he was home free. But I don't feel sorry for him because even after he denigrated the Black experience in America, he had an interview with Ann Coulter. And Ann Coulter told him, hey, I like you. You're very articulate. You're smart. You're a billionaire. But I'll never vote for you because you're an Indian. He should have gotten the hint back then, but he didn't. It's like he blocked that out of his memory and think if he keeps denigrating himself, denigrating other people, they will finally like him. But that never happened. I remember when he posted a picture of himself and his family on a July 4th holiday, and all he got was hate. People saying, well, I don't see any American in this picture. He should have gotten the hint, but he didn't. Where it all culminated to a Turning Point USA event where he went to introduce himself to the Republican faithful about his ambition to throw his hat as a contender for the governor of Ohio. And he was humiliated.
Jesus Christ is God, and there is no other God. He is part of the Holy Trinity, and any other God is a demon, and it's false. How can you represent the constituents of Ohio who are 64% Christian if you are not a part of that faith? If you are an Indian, a Hindu, coming from a different culture, different religion than those who founded this country, those who grew this country, built this country, made this country the beautiful thing that it is today. What are you conserving? You are bringing change. I'll be 100% honest with you. Christianity is the one truth.
Christian voices should be the main voice of America, and I want to know basically why you seem to be, and I don't mean to be horribly offensive, but why you seem to be masquerading as a Christian.
You familiar with the Ten Commandments?
You call yourself a Hindu, but you also call yourself Christian.
I don't call myself Christian. I call myself a Hindu. I'm not running to be pastor of Ohio. I'm running to be governor of Ohio, and I didn't run to be pastor of America. I ran to be president of the United States of America. What's your faith?
I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus.
Great. Do you believe in the Holy Trinity? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
I think a lot of people here do. So
good. And that doesn't make you a polytheist, does it?
Probably not, no.
Great. And so in my faith, I believe there's one true God. He resides in all of us, and he appears in different forms, but it's one true God. So I'm an ethical monotheist. That's the way I would describe my faith. Do you think it's inappropriate for someone who's a Hindu to be, say, a U.S. president?
No, I think it's... No, well...
You be honest.
Isn't Hinduism...
Because you're an Indian.
I can ask yourself that Hinduism believes in Shiva and what is it? The flute god. I forget.
Right, Krishna, who's you're thinking of?
Yeah, Krishna. But isn't Charlie Kirk's organization founded on Christian values as well? And isn't the United States of America also, based on what Protestantism is, based on how those values are? Wouldn't that contradict what your beliefs are?
Like I said, I'm not here to justify my faith to you any more than you are to me, but what I do share is the value set this country was founded on. And I think that it's really important that we not reinvent the founding of this country and what it was actually all about.
Well, I hate to break this to Vivek here. Maybe as smart as he is, he lacks self-awareness. So let me advise him. This has nothing to do with Christianity. Well, look at Trump. Does that guy appear to you as a Christian? No. Even if Vivek was a Christian, it'll make no difference. He's just the wrong color for them. That is the only thing. He is just the wrong color. All this Hindu and you not Christian, it's all a smokescreen. They loved them some Vivek when Vivek was talking bad about black people and saying all the things that they wanted him to hear. They loved them. At some point, the polls during the presidential race said he was the top. That was just to stroke his ego. But if he is self-aware, he will know that this has nothing to do with his religion, just the color of his skin. If he's smart, he will look at the other side and he'll realize that Zoran Mandani is also of Indian descent. And guess what? He is even Muslim. I think Muslim is lower in the totem pole than Hindu. If you look at how the Republicans look at it, they despise Muslims. They hate Muslims. But because Zoran Mandani is running as himself, not as this image of an American warrior, an American Indian warrior, not a token American Indian warrior as Vivek is playing. Zoran is himself. So he's able to be free and say what he wants. He could be himself. He could be an Indian descent that was born in Uganda and a Muslim. Dude, that is so much strike. And he's still going to be the mayor of New York after 9/11, which is unheard of. All because he is playing himself and not a character. And now he's coming back to bite Vivek. So Vivek came to this country under the back of the struggles of a lot of black Americans. He went to the best schools in America because somebody fought for that right for him to do so. And when he got to the top, he shit on those people that got him to where he is. And then he expected to get a reward, but he was humiliated. And mark my word, he's never going to be the governor of Ohio. This is it for him. He's just going to be a podcaster, a YouTuber, because he's playing the wrong character. All you have to be is to be yourself and not to be a token person that use other people as stepping stone and expect a reward. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you and see you on the next one.